Germany has built its democracy on the lessons of its darkest chapters, from museums documenting Nazi rule to memorials marking the fall of the Berlin Wall. The past is deliberately kept visible. But today, the country faces a different challenge. How do you make civil liberties meaningful to young people who never lived without them? That question sits at the heart of the work of the project lead for the Freedom and Unity Monument in Leipzig and the Forum for Freedom and Civil, Anke Hannemann. For Anke, civic education must be practical, personal, and honest. Workshops, encounters with eyewitnesses, interactive spaces that show how civil liberties shape everything from digital expression to the freedom to protest. She even brings her 10-year-old daughter to demonstrations, a living lesson that democracy survives only when people participate.
The key is to make the idea of freedom tangible. Younger generations often know about dictatorship only from textbooks or from history class, but if they are lucky enough to grow up in a democratic country, they don't really know what it might mean to live without the right to speak openly, travel freely, or shape your own future. So that's why I think it is important to connect history with their own everyday experience. And this is what I meant yesterday when I was saying it's not only important to know about history, but to be able to translate it into the future or for the future. So for example, by showing how civil liberties influence their digital lives, their ability to express themselves. For instance, I have been taking my daughter, who's now 10 years old, to protests and demonstrations all the time because I want to know, or I want her to know, that you can make a difference, that you are allowed to speak up.
But education isn't limited to classrooms. Germany's museums and memorials are designed as emotional anchors, places where history becomes tangible.
I believe that these places act as a collective reminder and as an emotional anchor. They don't just display history, they make it feel present. So, for example, when you once will stand in front of the planned Monument to Freedom and Unity in Leipzig, you are not only reminded of the date of 1989 as a date in a book, but you are standing on the ground where ordinary citizens found the courage to defend their rights peacefully.
So this is a lesson Ghana cannot afford to ignore. With rising misinformation, political polarization, and a youth population getting more civic knowledge from social media, the question of democratic literacy is becoming urgent. If Germany with its heavy historical reminders fear complacency, then young democracies like ours must pay even closer attention to how we teach freedom, accountability, and the cost of losing them. Reporting from Leipzig, I'm Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.